Greetings, fellow readers, and welcome back to Colin's Corner. Today, guys, we are going to be talking about 5 series that I plan on either reading or continuing in 2023. Now, for the most part, I am a mood reader. You guys know how it is, how busy we get. I mean, being a dad, being a husband, being in school and working, it's tough to get a lot of reading done, but hey, we do what we can. Um, this will be my first time through all of these series, so I'm really excited to get going on them or continuing in them. Before we get into this list, I do want to say that stay tuned to the end of the video where I will be introducing a brand new segment to the channel. So enough dilly-dallying, let's get into this list. So the first series is going to be Terry Pratchett's Discworld. Now, I read The Color of Magic in December, so I've decided to read the Discworld in chronological order. Now, I know it doesn't have to be read in chronological order, but there is a part of me that enjoys just kind of watching author grow and evolve in their craft. So I decided to do these in chronological order. But as far as The Color of Magic goes, I really enjoyed the first book of this series. I thought that the humor and the witty banter between the characters reminded me a lot of Monty Python and Young Frankenstein. And I told my wife very early on in our relationship that everything she needs to know about my sense of humor can be discovered by watching Young Frankenstein. Rincewind's sarcasm and how much of a coward he was, I thought was hilarious. He's a horrible wizard who only knows one spell and doesn't know how to conjure it on purpose, which I thought was great. And Two Flowers' kind of ignorance and excitement about being on the Discworld and in a new place, I thought was an interesting comment. Maybe Pratchett trying to make a comment about just a privileged traveler, a privileged tourist. I really like the aspect of the gods playing the characters in the book like chess or checkers pieces. So I'm really excited to see where he takes this. I know it kind of grows with him, with Pratchett as he moves forward in the series. And my next read is going to be The Light Fantastic, and I'm excited to get to this one. Next up on our list for number 2 is going to be The Dresden Files. Now, I have finished Stormfront and Full Moon. This is a series that I'm actually reading with my mom. I finished Full Moon. I think she is working on Full Moon or is getting to it after she finishes her next book of the month book. For Stormfront, I thought it was a great introduction to the characters of Harry and Karen Murphy. There was a decent storyline involving the crime lord Johnny Marcone. I'm not sure how to say it, but I've been saying Marconi in my head, so that's what I'm going to go with. There's a new drug that grants magical powers to normal people. We're introduced to demons. We're introduced to the White Council. In Full Moon, Harry finds himself in another Harry situation. Marconi is involved in this situation again. There's werewolves. There's lycanthropes, which are like mind werewolves of some kind, and something called a loup garou. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's like a super mega werewolf. So with the first 2 books, I think that Butcher's doing a really good job of introducing us to the world and kind of expanding upon things, introducing us to new creatures, and I'm really excited to see where he takes us. This is another series that I know many people love, and it gets way more in depth and more serious the further on you get in the series. I believe they're up to 17 books or something, and there's like 23 books planned, Butcher has planned. So I'm excited to keep going with this one. I'm kind of just throwing it in between bigger series that I'm reading and having fun with it for now. My next book is going to be Grave Peril, and I can't wait to see what Harry and his Duster get into next. Alright, for number 3, guys, we have The Realm of the Elderlings, and more specifically, the live ship traders with Ship of Magic. Now, last year I read Farseer physically over the summer, and I'm actually currently rereading it again on audio because I just wanted to go back and hang out with Fitz. I loved Farseer. I thought it was an extremely well done character study. Um, I, I was very invested in both the story and the characters, and I want to learn more about the 2 forms of magic, the wit and the skill, that we're introduced to in the Farseer trilogy. I thought Fitz was a fantastic character. Hob truly is a master of character work. And I don't want to say too much because I would like to review Farseer on the channel at some point. But like I said, next up for me is Live Ship Traders. I don't know much about it other than that it is not following Fitz, but it is in the same world. Supposedly, the Live Ship Traders is for most people a huge step up in terms of their enjoyment of Realm of the Elderlings, which is crazy because the Farseer trilogy alone already made Hob one of my top favorite authors. So I can't wait to see where she takes this series. I know that I'm going to love it already. For number 4, guys, we have A Song of Ice and Fire by none other than George R.R. Martin. I finished A Game of Thrones for the first time in December, in between kind of December and January. This was the most recent book that caused me an extreme loss of sleep. It was ruthless. It was political. Nobody was safe. I didn't want to get attached to any of the characters because I didn't know if they were going to be around for very long. Now, I did watch the show, but one thing you guys are going to figure out about me on this channel is that I have extreme book, movie, and show amnesia. A lot of times I'll forget characters unless somebody jars my memory. I'll forget plot events, not like the most major plot events, but I'll forget pretty big plot events sometimes. But one thing I do usually remember and what sticks with me is the way that books make me feel. And A Game of Thrones was one of the most exciting book ones I think that I have ever read. So next up for me is going to be A Clash of Kings. Get to fix there. Oh. So next up for me is going to be A Clash of Kings. Bada boom. And I can't wait to get to this because of where A Game of Thrones left us off. I'm like, let's go. And last but not least, guys, we have boom, Gardens of the Moon, book 1 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. I don't know if I said that right, but that's what I'm going with. I know virtually nothing about this series. I feel like this series, more than any other series that I've watched on BookTube, is talked about the least in a non-spoiler way. I don't know if that's because it's hard to talk about it in a non-spoiler way, and I don't even know if that's true, but regardless of if that is a true statement or not, I've been avoiding it because I don't really want to know too much about it going into it. I'm not as intimidated as some people were when they got into the Malazan Book of the Fallen because it seems like we have so many resources now on BookTube with people like Philip over on the Best of Fantasy, people like AP Canavan from A Critical Dragon, and Jimmy from the Fantasy Network. People do a lot of deep dives on these books and talk about the themes and have these long form discussions. So the other thing is I know I'm not necessarily supposed to know what's going on in Gardens of the Moon. So knowing that going into it is kind of reassuring. But this is an epic series that I have up on the shelf there. I have most of the books. I think I have the first 7 books. But kind of in between semesters, I'm probably going to try to take a dive into Gardens of the Moon. So for number 5, guys, we have Gardens of the Moon, book 1 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen. Alright, guys, that's my list of 5 series that I plan to either start or continue in 2023. Let me know if you guys have read any of these, or if you want me to prioritize any of them. Like I said, I am more of a mood reader, but my whole purpose in creating this channel was to talk to you guys about books. So if there's something that you guys want me to put towards the top of the list, let me know. Here's the moment you've all been waiting for. What is my new segment? Comedy with Colin. Now in this segment, I'm going to tell you guys a joke, a pun, or a riddle. You guys can guess the answer in the comments, and I will reveal the answer in my next video. The first joke is going to be, why are tightrope walkers so healthy? Now, if you guys think you know the answer, put it down in the comments. Also, guys, let me know what you want me to read. Let me know what you guys have read, what you liked. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you enjoy the content in the channel so far, please share it. Get the word out there. I'd love to meet more of you guys and talk to more of you guys. I love how active you guys have been in the comment section. It's been great to meet some of you. Thanks again, guys, for stopping by. And remember, you are always welcome in Colin's Corner.